Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today, we embark on an exciting journey, tracing the trajectory of how Romania, once considered one of Europe's poorest countries, managed to catch up economically with its neighbor Hungary. Join us as we unveil the captivating story of this remarkable economic transformation and the factors that fueled Romania's rise. According to preliminary data given by Eurostat, in 2022, even though Hungary's GDP per capita measured at purchasing power parity has improved, bringing it in line with Portugal, Romania has caught up with the nation for the first time in decades. According to preliminary data, Hungary registered a quarterly drop in GDP in the second quarter of 2023, as the country is experiencing the longest technical recession streak on record. In contrast, the World Bank estimates confirm the prospect of constant economic growth for Romania until 2030. According to Business Review, in 2019, Bucharest was already richer than Budapest, while Banat and Transylvania were more developed than most of Hungary. There are many factors behind this remarkable economic ascent. To understand Romania's rise better, our journey begins with a glimpse into the country's economic history. In the post-communist era, Romania faced significant economic hurdles, including corruption, inefficiency, and a struggling industrial sector. In fact, in 1993, with a GDP per capita at purchasing power parity of only $6,900, Romania used to be even poorer than Bulgaria. A crucial factor in Romania's success was its prudent management of national debt. While Romania's debt by 1989 was virtually zero, according to IMF, in 1990, Hungary's national debt stood at 117% of its GDP. However, this zero-debt policy led by the Romanian communist regime came with major costs for the average Romanians. Our journey begins with a glimpse into Romania's challenging communist era. Under the communist rule, Romania experienced extreme austerity and economic hardship. The policy of repaying external debt at any cost resulted in widespread poverty and suffering. In 1978, the president of the country had started an austerity program, as Romania embarked on a frenzied campaign to repay its international creditors, resorting to drastic measures to generate income. The country slashed imports, restricted foreign travel, and curtailed access to the most basic necessities like electricity and heating during harsh winters. The impact was so severe that by 1983, the standard of living had fallen by almost 40%, according to IMF figures. The decade was also marked by horrific inflation, as in 1982 alone, it hit 35%. The electricity price had risen by 30%, while the natural gas price was raised by almost 150%. Even though austerity caused immediate hardships, it also set the stage for a future economic leap. The president's focus on heavy industry and infrastructure development laid the foundation for Romania's later industrialization. Factories, energy production, and transportation networks received substantial investments during this period. Another important factor contributing to Hungary's economic hardships is the country's political regime. Viktor Orban, the prime minister of the country, is considered to be the European Union's longest-serving leader after being in power for more than 12 years. As in 2022, he was re-elected for the fourth time. He has extended control over most walks of life in Hungary, on the way to forming a self-styled, illiberal democracy. His government has implemented laws restricting speech freedom and imposing heavy fines on critical outlets. This has raised concerns about press freedom and self-censorship. The leader's control over media ownership is another critical issue. Many media outlets in Hungary are linked to Orban's allies, raising questions about media plurality and objectivity. Having a big parliamentary majority on his side, he went as far as single-handedly writing a new constitution. Viktor Orban's regime is also well known for the ongoing discrimination campaign against refugees and LGBT individuals. Orban's Fidesz party has introduced a series of laws targeting the LGBT community, culminating in a constitutional amendment that defines marriage as between a man and a woman. These laws have restricted the community's rights, including the ability to adopt and access sex education. The implications of these laws are profound. They perpetuate discrimination, affecting people's access to essential services and their right to live freely and openly. The legal framework creates an atmosphere of intolerance and contributes to the marginalization of queer individuals. Orban's policies have triggered international condemnation, with European leaders and human rights organizations expressing concern. Some EU countries have taken steps to protect LGBT rights, creating tensions within the European Union and drawing attention to the clash between national and European values. The European Commission criticized the country's political regime many times, as the rule of law in Hungary is severely damaged. Viktor Orban's illiberal regime has economic consequences as well. In 2022, the European Commission froze EU funds amounting to almost €22 billion of Hungary's 2021 to 2027 cohesion funding, money set aside for poorer EU states to promote sustainable development. The reason for this decision was clearly stated: Hungary's failure to comply with the Charter of Fundamental Rights, in particular the rights of LGBT individuals, refugees, and academic freedom. In contrast, Romania is set to receive almost €80 billion from the European Union by 2027. Natural resources play as well a defining role when it comes to Romania's remarkable economic ascent, as the country has the second largest natural gas reserves in the European Union, just after the Netherlands. According to the Center for European Policy Analysis, its Black Sea gas resources are estimated to be between 80 to 200 billion cubic meters, enough to cover domestic demand for as long as 20 years. The nation's significant gas reserves have enhanced its geopolitical importance in the region. It has become a key player in European energy security, with its reserves contributing to the diversification of gas supply routes. Romania's natural resources have been a catalyst for economic growth. The extraction and processing of natural gas have created numerous job opportunities, driving employment and contributing to the country's GDP. According to OMV Petrom, one of the largest gas companies operating in Romania, the Black Sea exploration and production sector could attract investments in the region of more than €16 billion that would lead to the creation of up to 30,000 jobs. In fact, Romania aims to become European Union's biggest gas producer and hopes to supply gas to Austria and Hungary through the Brua pipeline. However, according to Euronews, one area of concern remains Russia's reaction. Despite Romania's struggles to become energy independent, in 2023, Hungary raised its gas imports from Russia, while Austria's imports returned to the levels observed before Moscow launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. In contrast with Romania, Hungary has limited fossil fuel resources of its own, and its domestic production is declining. The country imports 90% of its oil and gas, much of it from Russia. Hungary's dependence on energy imports makes the country vulnerable to external turmoil. After the war in Ukraine started, Hungary registered the highest inflation rate in the whole European Union, as in 2022 it reached 25%. Last year, food prices have increased by almost 44%, and the Hungarian forint weakened more than 40% against the US dollar and over 20% against the euro. In conclusion, the future of Romania and Hungary hinges on the choices they make. Romania's history of debt management, rich natural resources, EU funds, and thriving sectors position it for a promising future as the nation quietly catches up with richer neighbors. If you found this exploration of Romania's potential to overtake Hungary in prosperity intriguing, please like, subscribe, and share this video.